Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession. The candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree from the Tippie College of Business have gathered to celebrate commencement. All are in their places. These proceedings are hereby called to order. You may be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Tippie College of Business and Professor of Marketing, Dr. Sarah Fisher-Gardiel.
Thank you, Dean Onstreicher. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Tippie College of Business and the University of Iowa, I welcome you all, graduating seniors, their family members, friends, faculty, and staff of the college, to our commencement. All of us here are so proud of our university and our college, and especially today of you, our graduates. This commencement allows us to honor your accomplishments. We come together to celebrate and reflect upon an important milestone in your lives, the completion of your undergraduate education. Today, many emotions fill this auditorium. For our graduates, these emotions range from excitement and anticipation of the celebration to perhaps uncertainty and apprehension about the future. For parents or spouses, the range of emotion can include pride, certainly, and in some cases, I suspect, a profound sense of financial relief. Yes. Before proceeding further, I would like to introduce you to the faculty and the invited guests joining us today to honor our graduates as they earn their degrees. Please stand as I introduce you. Starting with, on my right, Bob Walker, lecturer of the John Papajohn Entrepreneurial Center. Tong Yao, associate professor of finance and Henry B. Tippie research fellow. Kathy Cole, department executive officer and professor of marketing. Ken Brown, associate dean and professor of management and organizations. John Keller, associate provost for graduate and professional education and the dean of the Graduate College. Kurt Onstreicher, senior associate dean and professor of management sciences. President Bruce Harold, president of the University of Iowa. Ted Waite, the founder and chairman of the Waite Foundation. Jay Christensen Zelansky, professor of management and organizations. Nick Street, department executive officer and professor of management sciences. Michael Choi, Assistant Professor of Economics. Kevin Markle, Assistant Professor of Accounting. Joyce Berg, Professor of Accounting and Director of the Iowa Electronic Markets. These faculty and staff are serving as our marshals today. So if you will stand as I indicate. Beth Bellman, lecturer in the Department of Management and Organizations. Michael Colbert, lecturer, Department of Management Science. Christy Gleason, associate professor of accounting and Henry B. Tippie Research Fellow. Jennifer Furman, lecturer in the Department of Economics. Todd Nelson, lecturer in the Department of Finance. And Thomas Walsh, lecturer in the Department of Marketing. Thank you for joining us today. I would also like to give special thanks and recognition to the members of the Iowa Brass Quintet. On trumpets, Dr. Amy Schendel and Mr. Evan Fowler. On horns, Dr. James Nigas. On trombone, Mr. Robert Parker. And on tuba, Professor John Manning. All of these proceedings will be interpreted by Scotty Van Isingham. And I would like to remind all of you who are taking pictures that you might want to upload them to hashtag TippieGrad17. In 2006, the faculty of the University of Iowa voted to begin conferring honorary degrees on individuals who have demonstrated extraordinary and sustained achievements in research, scholarship, education, artistic creation, social activism, human rights, humanitarian outreach, and other endeavors consistent with the values of the University of Iowa. Today, during our ceremony, the university will confer an honorary degree on noted businessman and philanthropist Ted Waite. Ted is the founder and chairman of the Waite Foundation. At 22 years of age, he co-founded Gateway 2000, Inc., where he helped pioneer the direct marketing of personal computers. Labeled a maverick by the national business publications, he became a Fortune 500 CEO and member of the Forbes 400 by the time he was barely 30. Since his retirement from Gateway in 2004, he has gone on to form multiple enterprises: Avalon Capital Group, Inc., the Waite Foundation, the Waite Institute for Violence Prevention, and the Waite Institute. Mr. Waite was elected to the Board of Trustees of the renowned Salk Institute for Biological Studies in 2016. For more than a decade, he has served as a trustee on that board in roles including vice chair of the board and chair of the governance committee. In 2007, Mr. Waite established the Waite Advanced Biophotonics Center with a $20 million grant. This center remains a model of multidisciplinary and collaborative core facility at the cutting edge of imaging technology and has gained numerous awards and accolades. Mr. Waite currently serves the executive committee of the Board of Trustees of the National Geographic Society. As NNGS's largest living donor, he has worked on many issues, among them the National Geographic Society Waite Grants Program, the Genographic Project, and the Gospel of Judas. Personally, Mr. Waite has traveled to more than 100 companies in a never-ending search to understand more about our planet, its people, and our history. He also serves on the Board of Advisors for the National Geographic Society Pristine Seas Initiative and has sponsored dozens of marine science expeditions across all 5 oceans and 7 continents. Mr. Waite believes that the depletion of ocean resources is one of the biggest challenges of our generation. Over the past 8 years, he has dedicated the bulk of his time and resources to the cause of ocean conservation. Since that time, the Waite Foundation, a grant-making organization, has invested over $60 million in various ocean conservation initiatives. Born in Sioux City, Iowa, Mr. Waite is the son of a 4th-generation cattleman. He attended the universities of Iowa and Colorado and received an honorary doctorate of science from the University of South Dakota. He has 4 grown children and currently resides in the Los Angeles area with his wife, Michelle, who is joining us today. Mr. White, would you please come forward? And I would also like to ask John Keller, the Associate Provost for Graduate Education and Dean of the Graduate College, to come forward for the conferral of the degree.
President Harold, Ted Wade is recommended to you by the Honorary Degree Selection Committee to receive the Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters, and the Graduate College is honored to present the recommendation to you for the conferral of this degree.
On recommendation of the Honorary Degree Selection Committee, I confer on Ted Wade the Honorary Degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
Wow. Thank you, President Harold. Thank you, Dean Keller, Dean Gardial. That was really cool. Anyway, can anybody turn up the heat in here? It's getting a little warm, you think? You know? And first of all, I'd like to give a big congratulations to all the parents out there today for all your hard work. Having put 4 kids through college, big kudos to you, that is for sure. And also, big congratulations to you guys. You worked hard, you did it. Give yourselves a big round of applause, the students and the graduates here today. You did something that I never did, graduate from this institution. You know, it's 33 years ago, I dropped out of this school. Does anybody think it's ironic that a dropout is giving the commencement address? I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, a little choked up, actually. But thank you to all the university for having me here today and for giving me this honor. It was 33 years ago that I left this fine university. Had an opportunity to go work in a computer store. Always knew I wanted to have my own business. I left school, worked there for 9 months, figured I couldn't do it any worse than the guy I was working for, and decided to set out on my own and start my own business. So I packed up my stuff in my car and drove from Des Moines to Sioux City with a close buddy of mine, and we started Gateway. And it was tough work. First few years were really hard. We were broke constantly. I would call the bank every morning and ask them, how much money do we have in the account? Next to nothing. I knew we either had to sell stuff or we could go buy products. But it was difficult the first few years. And then we found the winning formula. We got a little lucky. I remember I drove one time and I took a picture of my family farm in northwest Iowa and decided to superimpose a line, computers from Iowa, on it. And it worked. People called. They bought computers from a small little company in northwest Iowa. And we grew rapidly, and next thing we knew, billions in revenue, tens of thousands of employees. We were successful, and I retired December 31st, 1999. The original name of the company was Gateway 2000. My partner and I had a deal. We were going to work until the year 2000. That seemed like it was way in the future for us. Well, it's way in the past now. But I retired, and everything was good. Life was good. I had achieved success beyond my wildest dreams. Then I had about a year off where I could run around searching for what I was going to do next. One thing led to another, and the company I had founded ended up in significant trouble, and I had to go back in as CEO. It wasn't part of my life plan. All of a sudden, I found myself as a turnaround CEO. I had to let 14 people go, the top management team of a Fortune 500 company in one day. And it was the most challenging part of my life. It was challenging physically, mentally. On every level, we had to lay off thousands of people, and it was brutal, and I was having a very difficult time. I was having difficult health issues. One point, I was going blind in one eye. blood pressure had risen to something like 160 over 100. I was having troubles in my marriage. And I turned around the company. I'd done a reasonable job. We had $1 billion in cash. We got rid of the debt on the balance sheet. You guys are all business students, so you know. We had the fastest growing digital solutions business. We were #1 in flat panel televisions. But I was not well. I was not well. And then one night at 4 in the morning, I get a phone call. My father had passed away. Hopped on the plane, flew back to Sioux City. Went through that. My father was my hero. Went through the funeral, gave the eulogy at his funeral, flew back home. And at my daughter's birthday, I get another phone call. Your best friend is in a coma with West Nile virus. He's being life-flighted to the hospital. So I fly back to Sioux City again, to the exact same hospital where my dad had died 4 days earlier. My best friend, I'm like, somebody's telling me something. Somebody's telling me something. So I sat on my porch outside of Sioux City, and I thought, what am I going to do? You know, what's wrong with my life? I was doing things that I wasn't necessarily cut out to do. I wasn't enjoying. They weren't right for me. So at that point in time, I made some decisions. Made some decisions on how I was going to change my life. Decided to quit my job. Decided to get healthy. Decided I was going to be a better person. And I set out on a new course. E.B. White once said, I wake up in the morning, I don't know whether to save the world or savor the world. I said, why can't you do both? So I found this wonderful area of ocean conservation where I could go travel to the most beautiful places on the planet, and I could also save them, creating the national parks of the sea. I discovered biomedical research, where I could help institutes like the Salk Institution do cures for cancer and figure out how we can live longer, healthier lives. And I'm proud to report now I'm probably in better shape than I was 20 years ago. I could do more push-ups, more pull-ups. My blood pressure's 120 over 80, except for now it's probably a little higher than that, I think, you know. But anyway, but life is good. But I learned a lot about myself. And in preparation for this, I watched a lot of commencement speeches. And, you know, I dropped out of school. I don't know what you guys will take my advice for. You guys already accomplished something I never did, graduating. I got an honorary degree. Thanks, Bruce. Really appreciate that. But you guys have a real one. So you've already got a bigger head start than I had in my career. But I thought if I could give you a little advice, what are 3 things that I learned in my career? And it's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of travels. So I have 3 simple things for you to think about. First of all, be true to yourself. You know, I used to tell my kids, and my kids are around your age. I have 2 kids in college, 2 that have graduated already. I used to tell them when they were younger, I said, you can be whatever you want to be. And the more I thought about that, the more I experienced, I think that's a little bit of crap. I couldn't have been an NFL quarterback. I couldn't have been a professional golfer. I just don't understand quantum physics. I just don't get it. I've tried. I just don't get it. But you can be the best you that you can be. You know, a nurse wrote a book recently about deathbed confessions. And the number one regret that people had in their life when you're on your deathbed is that they weren't true to themselves. So no matter what you do, be true to yourself. I wasn't necessarily being my own self when I was in that job back as a turnaround CEO. I should have put someone else in that position, but I was doing it out of a sense of ego and a sense of obligation. If something doesn't feel right to you as you go in your careers, it's probably not right. There was a guy that worked for me one time. He was doing a great job, and I hired him in a smaller job. I promoted him. I pushed him really hard. He was doing an amazing job, and he came into me and goes, Ted, I have to quit. And I said, Tom, why do you have to quit? What's wrong? He goes, well, I go home at night. I throw up. I get a nosebleed. I look at my fish tank for 4 hours to try and calm down. And I'm like, God, I had no idea I had that impact on you. I'm so sorry, Tom. I pushed you that hard. I ran into him a few years later, about 10 years later. This was in the early days of Gateway. And the early employee, he could have made millions, tens of millions, maybe even $100 million. I said, Tom, do you ever regret that decision, walking away from the company at that time? He looked me in the eye and said, no. Got a great wife, great family, great kids, great life, great relationships, great friends. Those are the things that matter. Second thing to think of. Try not to care what people think. We are an interesting species, humans. I heard a story the other day. Young woman in a dark building, late at night, elevator, standing in front of an elevator. Elevator door opens. There's a lone man inside the elevator. He doesn't look trustworthy. He's a very scary man. Hair on the back of her neck stands up. What does she do? She gets in the elevator. Why? We're the only animal in the world that would put ourselves at risk because we didn't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. We cared more about what that person thought. To say, no, yeah, I forgot something. Even make up a story at that point. I know it's hard out there, but it's as difficult as you go forward in life with so many pressures from so many different people, particularly in this day of social media, striving for likes, striving for followers. Try not to care what people think. Do your own thing. Do what you're comfortable with. Find what you like. Find what you're good at. Don't chase the dream. Less is more. Material things don't matter at the end of the day. What matters mostly is relationships. And you'll learn that. Be a good person. That's my third thing to think about. If you take away one thing from what I said today, it's be a good person. How are you going to change the world, make the world a better place? It's being a good person. I know a lot of great business people. I met a lot of great business people in my life who have done a lot to change the world. But in most cases, they weren't good people, but they were great business people. But I think you can be a great business person and a great person. And doing that, you can change the world. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Ted, for your inspiring remarks. The business world expects great things from Tippie graduates, and from what I know of them, our graduates have what it takes to meet and exceed those expectations and change the world. It's my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Alex Pagano. Alex is from Los Angeles, California, and is graduating with honors with a BBA in marketing management and a minor in aerospace studies. Alex served on the UI Homecoming Council as the Community Service Chair, participated in a Tippie study abroad experience in China, and was a member of our beloved Tippie International Buddies program. Alex is also a cadet in the Air Force ROTC program here in Iowa, serving most recently as Cadet Wing Commander, charged with the training and well-being of all cadets in the unit. Upon graduation, she will commission into active duty service in the Air Force as a second lieutenant and will begin her career as an air battle manager this summer.
Thank you, Dean Brown. I'd like to take a moment to welcome the faculty, family, and friends celebrating with us today. We wouldn't be here without your support. I'm so thankful to be standing in front of all of you and speaking at this ceremony, mostly because I'm inspired by and look up to so many of you. As we get ready to take our next steps, let's revisit where we started. Whether your story began in Coralville, Iowa, or Beijing, China, we all ended up at the University of Iowa, and we will always have this time in common. I grew up in Los Angeles. Most of my friends at home still think I'm in Idaho, or maybe Ohio. But let me tell you, they know I'm a Hawkeye. I remember walking around Iowa City, well, more like trudging, through a February snowstorm on my first visit here. I stopped at Java House and toured the parts of campus not under snow. Moving across the country was scary enough, so to have a place that felt inviting and somehow warm in the dead of winter was important to me. I can't really explain it. My gut just told me this is a place I could settle into. and a community I could become a part of. Iowa has not only become home to me, but has been adopted by my parents, who are now diehard Hawkeye fans, and they're wearing matching shirts too. My dad is my hero. He always has been. He never had the opportunity to go to college, and it means so much to me that he now has the University of Iowa to call his own. I still cry every time I have to say goodbye to my family, especially my dog. But the people whom I've met here have become a new family. And as I reflect on my experience at Iowa, I'm brought back to where my strongest relationships were formed, in Tippie. Throughout my time in Tippie, I've met the most incredible people. I feel as though we've all learned from each other as much or even more than we did from our textbooks. In the case of financial accounting, I for sure learned more from all of you than I did from my textbook. Over the years, I've been continually challenged by you all, my peers. We've competed for awards, leadership positions, and coveted A's in curved classes. But you know what? I'm proud of every time I did not get an award, a position, or the best grade in class. And why? Because I know that someone else, one of you sitting out there, more deserving than myself, had received it, achieved it, or better yet, earned it. I was not a Tippie 21 under 21 recipient, and although I applied, I was not selected to be a business student ambassador. As a competitive person, trust me, I don't find losing fun. These losses may have hurt at the time, but every time that I tried and failed, I would see the recipients later on and was always impressed by the people who had beat me. These failures not only showed me how to learn and move on, they reminded me of why competition is so important, because it breeds excellence. You want to have people who are better than you, because in turn, it will push you farther than you thought you could go. And you all have done that for me. As business students, we are required to be multitaskers, juggling jobs, internships, leadership positions, and all while maintaining our grades and keeping some semblance of a social life. We've been challenged with this juggling act our entire academic lives, constantly being told we haven't even entered the real world. But Tippie students actively engage with the real world. We've raised money for charities, built homes for Tippie Build, and we've become entrepreneurs. We're world travelers who have studied abroad, but also created initiatives to bring culture to Iowa through programs like Tippie International Buddies. All of these things are real, even if we did them as students. Tippie students don't step over a piece of litter. You demonstrate integrity on Tippie Senate. You support causes with both time and energy. You display a service mentality, which I saw walking by countless bake sales for charities in the Papa John halls. These actions show that Tippie students take their passions seriously enough to turn them into a reality and have taken concrete steps to better themselves and the community. Many of you have become role models to me through your devotion to what you believe in and your willingness to create change. We're ready for the real world because we have been living it. Yesterday, actually, I took my first steps into the real world. I commissioned as a lieutenant in the United States Air Force and vowed to live by 3 key principles: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. These 3 tenets are required of my fellow airmen, and we are called to make every decision based off these ideals. I strongly feel that these principles, whether you've ever heard about them or not, are lived out every day by many of you at Tippie. We have pushed each other to become our best selves, ready to take on even more real-world challenges, and we could not have done it without each other. So let me take this last bit of time to say thank you. Thank you, Mom, for answering hundreds of phone calls for advice and support. Thank you to all our parents and family members who have been there for us every step of the way. Thank you to the teachers and mentors crucial to our development, and to advisors who got us into these seats today. Most of all, thank the person to your left and your right. This very well may be the last time we're all together. Thank your classmates who supported you and created a competitive environment that formed a stronger and more resilient version of yourself. Remember all the challenges and the lessons learned, but savor the fun times like storming the field after the Michigan upset. Use what you've learned and take Tippie out there into the real world. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. At this time, we would like to recognize student honors and achievements. Each year, Delta Sigma Pi awards the scholarship key to the graduating senior with the highest grade point average. This year's award is presented to Zachary Digman, who is receiving his BBA in Finance and Accounting. Would Zachary come forward? Congratulations, Zach. The Tippie College of Business awards degrees with highest distinction to students in the highest 2% of the graduating class, with high distinction to students in the next highest 3%, and with distinction to students in the next highest 5%. Distinction is designated by gold stars worn on the left sleeve. 3 stars indicate graduation with highest distinction, 2 with high distinction, and 1 with distinction. As I call each group of students, please rise to be recognized. Audience, I ask that you hold your applause until all the students graduating with distinction have been recognized. Will those graduating with highest distinction please stand? Oh, you're not following directions, audience, okay? Will those graduating with high distinction please stand? No, everybody stay standing. And now will those graduating with distinction please stand? Please join me in congratulating all these students. These students will also be recognized individually during the presentation of the graduates. Membership in Beta Gamma Sigma is the highest recognition a business student can earn. To be eligible for membership, students' individual academic ranking must place them in the upper 10% of the junior class or in the upper 10% of the senior class. Students graduating as members of Beta Gamma Sigma wear royal blue and gold cordons draped over their shoulders. Would the students graduating as members of Beta Gamma Sigma please stand? Congratulations. We would also like to recognize the students who are graduating in the Tippie College of Business with honors. Students graduate with honors in their major by achieving a 3.5 grade point average and writing a thesis relevant to their academic interest or major. Students may also graduate with university honors by completing 12 semester hours of honors coursework and undertaking significant hands-on learning experiences, including research, study abroad, and internships. Students graduating with honors wear white cordons draped over their shoulders and will be recognized during the presentation of the graduates. This year, we also recognize students who undertook multiple hands-on learning experiences through the Tippie RISE program. Those students are named in the insert in your commencement program. Lastly, we recognize and celebrate Tippie's commitment to service through our decade-long partnership with Habitat for Humanity. The student organizations instrumental in raising funds for and donating time to our 10th Tippie Build Home are also recognized in the program insert.
Now for the good stuff. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration please rise? President Harold, these candidates have completed the requirements for the Bachelor of Business Administration and are recommended to you by the faculty of the Tippie College of Business for the conferring of the degree.
On recommendation of the faculty of the Henry B. Tippie College of Business and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, I confer on each of you the degree Bachelor of Business Administration as qualified and designated. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated? Ken Brown, the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Program and a Professor of Management and Organizations, along with Joyce Berg, Professor of Accounting, will now recognize the graduates individually. Will the marshals please begin to bring the candidates forward to be recognized?
Brandon Farnham.
Shiping Mao.
Daniel Ahmed.
Rebecca Mansfield.
Kristen Bach.
Alex Olivares.
Alexa Brown.
Alexander M. Pong.
Amy Mass.
Zarif Afarka.
Jamie Bowman.
Rebecca Jillian Nosrati.
Caitlin Kubley.
James Robinson.
Kelsey Larson.
Michael O'Connell.
Catherine Boyle.
Christian Marquez.
Rachel Langholz.
Alana Rumler.
Allison Disterhoft with highest distinction.
Andrew Namani.
Zachary Digman with highest distinction.
Benton Peller.
Alexandra Pagano with honors in marketing with university honors.
Calvin Pong Buller.
Yuhong Feng.
Jordan Lowry.
Ron An.
Andrew Noggle.
Jiaying Cao.
Megan Quam.
Jennifer Davison with honors in business administration.
Lin G.
Jacob Engelbart.
Kelly McLaughlin.
Alyssa Francisco.
Emma Lapp.
Emily Blake.
Hunter Ricks.
Thomas Brown.
Jesse C. Norman.
Zach Bartling.
Timothy Lanning.
Jacinto Jargo with distinction with university honors.
Jacob Miller.
Jonathan Abdo.
Stephen Radke.
Joshua Abdo with high distinction.
Hillary Roust.
Michael Cahill.
Gianna Ludcadello.
Shelby Kane with university honors.
Nashwa Hamuda.
James Crotty.
Yi Pan.
Diana Hernandez.
Connor J. Mervick.
Emily Ayers with highest distinction.
Cody Marine.
Joshua Farmer.
Nathan Podraza.
James Havren.
Matthew Lipuma.
Jennifer Golden.
Yunyin Pan.
Isabel Eric.
Michaela Monty.
Rebecca Corcoran.
Logan Nickel.
Justin Joyce.
Samantha Enser.
Michael Caputo.
Justin Allen.
Ryan Cooper.
Andrew McGovern.
Davis Brown.
Megan Legaspi with distinction.
Nate Campen.
Taylor Polensky with distinction and with university honors.
Joey Spaniel.
Austin Moss with highest distinction, with university honors, and with honors in accounting.
Justin Baker.
Nicholas Michaels with highest distinction.
Andrew Krugler.
Jackson Nichols.
Ryan Buckaloo.
Claire Novak.
David Cray with distinction.
Jacob Longrek.
Joseph Goris.
Dylan Mendiata.
Brandon Flocker.
Dakota Premack.
Ruyong Wong.
Lucas Meyer.
Xinyu Zhao.
Ryan Mukaski.
Iku Fu.
Daniel Mangers.
Xinrei Deng.
Zachary Audi.
Zeiss Dai.
Alessandra Reedy.
Ryan Gerzowski.
Jennifer Hahn with distinction.
Jessica Elias.
Martin Wozniak.
Kaylee Latsonis.
Max Mercer.
Catherine Kilbasa.
Emily Murdener with high distinction.
Melissa Chagala.
James Lubbs.
Jennifer Colburn.
Haiying Lee.
Lindsay Ward.
Ruchua Ma.
Paige Bauer.
Bruno Ponce.
Augustine Javier Garcia.
Demi Ruan.
Drew Disler.
Ninsha Liu.
James Goodman.
Siwan Liu.
Justin Howard.
Chen Ma.
Nathan Dick.
Chin Lee.
Edward Kuzas.
Yichen Chuan.
Joseph Conroy.
Shannon McVaughn.
Tyler Frederick.
Alyssa Pinkos.
Derek Eng.
Erica Dunn.
Alec Feller.
James Osborne.
Jacob Bowles.
William Charles Miller.
Dakota Barnard.
Benjamin Raisley.
Georgia Ann Wright.
Jake Portinga.
Stephanie Michelle Kudalor Priya.
Alexandro Ortiz.
Stephanie Copeland,
Josefina Lopez Valdiva,
Sierra De La Torre,
Mitchell Parker,
Abby Ayers with distinction,
Kale Mason,
Tristan Geyser,
Jordan Peterson,
Jose Manuel Diaz,
Allie McDermott with high distinction,
Garrett Daniels,
Gina Cicero with highest distinction,
Ben Buckley,
Joseph Lane with distinction,
Alberto Rojas Cabero,
Bradley Martin,
Carson Farmer,
Greta Vanderpeel,
Daniel Bartz,
Sibo Lee,
Ivan Gomez,
Shipei Liu,
Tian Tian Dong,
Zixin Li.
Tian Chen,
What? Weisha Liu,
Tong Chen,
Yiming Li,
Songbom Bai,
Jack Olson with highest distinction,
Joshua Alonso,
Wade Nash,
Jiahao Dang,
Mason McDowell,
Jared Ernst,
Nicholas Schnell,
Bryce Duckett,
John Hassan Silverwood,
Demetric Brown,
Garrett Moreland with distinction,
Jordan Engel,
Isaac Oberlin,
Dylan Reich,
Adam Vrablick,
Zachary Tansey,
Jason Mayen,
Brett Bolger,
Nick Langle,
Paul Massini,
Yunshan Luo,
Daniel Bunick,
Shunjin Liu,
Justin Winters,
Grant Lund,
Natalie Cohen,
Corey Patterson,
Nick Campanella,
Andrew Botto,
Brock Baumert,
Yudong Rao,
Dylan Cutler,
Jacob Molina,
Dylan Bukite,
Samuel Morris,
Mike Bartlett,
Eileen McManus,
Kruti Doctor,
Ryan Rodriguez,
Roshni Ramohan,
Jared Popplewell,
Navia Menenji,
Agata Robach,
Haley Cleaver,
Shelby Ports,
Lauren Christensen,
Trevor Vavrick,
Madeline Philly,
Brian Thiel Signan,
Eong Chen,
Andrew Payne,
Qingyu Shen,
Alex Pribble Shea,
Joseph Bush,
Lauren Zapka,
Peyton Brecht,
Jenna Monday,
Amber Gerard,
Brianna Holst,
Jacob Davis,
Trisha Pawlowski,
Kelsey Eisbrenner,
Adrian Marcos,
Megan Duran,
Young Tak Ru.
Emily Clark.
Jung Ho Moon.
Bradley Pearl with high distinction.
Ray Jun Park.
Emily Bong with highest distinction.
Kevin Furcasa.
Brooke Nicole Mertens.
Jeffrey Peach.
Wang Yi Shu.
Ziyuan Lu.
Ross Burrell. Mariah Fuller.
Chiang Lee.
Madison England.
Yichuan Lee.
Chen Cheng.
Chuan Nia.
Alyssa Schinkel.
Lian Liu.
Brittany Johnson.
Li Gang Lian.
Nazreen Ahmad.
Dana Schmucker.
Joshua Wicks.
Matthew Ross.
Adam Busta with high distinction.
Jack Warning.
Brett Penningroth.
Jessica Szymanski.
Vishaka Raghuram.
Alexa Hannaford.
Megan Musil.
Natasha Sidiski.
Evan Furlong.
Thomas Lau.
Quentin Kroc.
Thomas Murray.
Edgar Rodriguez.
Mingrua Pong.
Santino Morena.
Morgan Peterman.
Dominic Gabuzzi.
Shane Smith.
Mac Blajda.
Ashley Stokes.
Timothy Burton.
Brent Thorne.
Travis Bush.
Sydney Seck.
Hu Su.
Yuching Zhou.
Hannah Choi.
Joshua Zhang.
Hyun An.
Yua Ying.
Pilgyung Choi.
Shurui Zhang.
Adam Matablevsky.
Wei Wei with University Honors.
Sabrina Mill.
Jiachin Tu.
Kevin Stanchis.
Jing Shi.
Shane Shaddix.
Nan Zhang.
Tenghui Frank Huang.
Shanyi Shang.
Matthew Koziel.
Dylan Stukenschneider.
Rachel Bakken.
Yuan Andy Tan.
Jessica Gannon.
Hung Hao Yan.
Chuck Sao.
Tingfei Sun.
Edward Tai Jiang.
Xiao Wei.
Olivia Gorsney.
Yua Wan.
Madeline Guyot with distinction.
Peter Weiss.
Sydney Kurtz.
Elizabeth Sturms with high distinction.
Mackenzie Phillips with honors in business administration with distinction.
Matt Strand.
Dylan Jones with honors in finance, with high distinction, and with university honors.
Alexis Kaplan.
Charles Goodwin.
Heather Yeager.
Benjamin Hansen.
Nicole Shirk.
Alexander Hardy.
Rebecca Sanders.
Hannah Cutchin.
Jacob Miller.
Shannon Brennigan.
Madeline Zelke.
Maddie Kipp.
Jiqing Zheng.
Kristen Renee Garcia.
Yufeng Chu.
Jacob Kessel with distinction.
Carmen Maureen Vogt.
Wei Huang.
Nathan Swenson.
Michael Grenda.
Connor Simmons.
Avery Gallus.
Eduardo Silva.
Shannon Kopis.
Simin Tian.
Lainey Johnson with high distinction.
Ran Song.
Lauren Grabe.
Ryan Sullivan.
Miranda Granchi.
Zach S. Style.
Dylan Green.
Dustin Werner.
Joseph Henderson.
Ethan Walker.
Michael Gonerman.
Caitlin Strauss.
Sergio Garza.
Shuan Zhang.
Dishuan Jing.
Lingyi Zhang.
John Gregory.
Muqing Wang.
Caitlin Johnson.
Shuna Yen.
Andrew Christopher Haas.
Yi Yang.
Josh Volliger.
Carmen Schragle.
Russell Hankel.
Logan Wilcox.
Kyung Kim.
Brian Smith.
Caleb Kesselring.
Adam Vanderweel.
Emily Sanchez.
Caleb Moser.
Johnny Gustafson.
Andrew Steckel with distinction.
Catherine Johak.
Zachary Tentinger.
Tyler Hines.
Casey Cortland Schneider.
Gregory German.
Melanie Miller.
Jacob Spindler.
Abby Krantz.
John Wisniewski.
Anna Paulson.
Lauren Meinert.
Megan Wynn.
Rachel Klepp.
William Silikowski.
Kim Durkin.
It's William. Kyle Schmidt.
Laura Quinlivan.
Clayton Maris.
Veronica Frey.
Wenji Zhang.
Mallory Smith.
Tanchi Yang.
Megan Mercer.
Qingyu Young.
Jordan Myers.
Jordan Veach.
David Ballard.
Alexis Smolyer.
Chris Wilson.
Jessica Welser.
George Harry Callis.
Avery Lewis.
If it makes him happy. Nicholas Trabucco.
Benjamin Zerfas.
Matthew Kurtzman.
Kevin Hoffman,
Benjamin Maud,
Sandro Pineda,
Scott James,
Megan Giorelli,
Nicholas Cruzy,
Emily Gay,
Joel Kunkel,
Connor Heil,
Nicholas Cruzy,
Benjamin Gawarowski,
Iren Jin,
Garrett Jerkovich,
Jeremy Helmick,
Patrick O'Connell,
Irvin Stumberg,
Philip Keneally,
Kyle Corbett,
Nathan Stadheim,
Austin Howe,
Charles McIlvain,
Jordan Niehaus,
Timothy Carroll,
Tyler Johnson,
Jonathan Froyo,
Jacob Stumberg with distinction,
Kyle Hollinger,
Jungsu Han,
David Henches,
Donghoon Toby Han,
Frankie Drennan,
Jingyoung Hong,
Brooke Langen,
Brian Jordan,
Haley Brancer,
Derek Holtkamp,
Raleigh Raleigh, Maggie Raleigh,
Dylan Gusta,
Evan Carroll,
Benjamin Jensen,
Johnny Marquise,
Andrew Sawalki,
Cheng Chu,
Madison Helling,
Yanyu Zhang,
Madeline Jakeway,
sorry, Mengchu Zhao,
Sid Vanderwoody,
Brittany Stewart,
Noah Gumpert,
Yunfan Soon,
Jack Frakes,
June Tao,
Darren Jones,
Yinyi Yu,
Zhanchai Huang,
Joseph Mendolia,
William Karabetsas,
Ryan Mulhern,
Joseph Kirkoven,
John Webb,
Isaac Vandersea,
Michael Gelati,
Haley Olivia Jacobs,
Michael Nowicki,
Alejandro Garcia Leer,
Ryan Cullinan,
Haley Henscheid,
Andrew Malakowski,
Jessica Shedd,
Clint Donaldson, Sean Kavanaugh,
Anna Gislason,
Thomas Richter,
Colin Gunn,
David Spinelli,
Benjamin Green,
Brandon Suvak,
Yongyong Ji,
Nicholas Block,
Changyong Kim,
Gina Sears,
Kyuri Kim,
Sarah Schwind,
Cody Jarms,
Fegu Joe,
Cole Rath,
Hannah Thompson,
Thomas Kovach,
Emma Shai,
Joshua Gertler,
Yua Yang,
Luke Gadke,
Jiangmi Wang,
Billy Rodiger,
Brandon Ung.
Anthony Kaplan.
Mindy Chong.
Nathan Carney.
Niall Oliver.
Jordan Claver.
Sang-hoon Yang.
Joseph Kiefer.
Yichin Yao.
Zixuan Hu.
Matt Schlickman.
Jingyu Han.
Zachary Williams.
Wanlan He with high distinction.
Jiaoqi Wu.
Elizabeth Hubing.
Samantha Masella.
Curtis Glennon.
Colleen Galloway.
Cole Cleaver.
Charlie Smorzuki.
John Glenn.
Ian O'Connor.
Megan Henkins.
Samantha Kistler.
Sarah Crafton.
Raylyn Webster, with honors in marketing, with distinction, and with university honors.
Kelly Garrow.
Felicia Gan.
Tess Richardson.
Tingwei Huan.
Cassandra Hansen with distinction with university honors.
Nicole Kalemba.
Trenton Hetlinger.
Nels Hollestrand.
Marcy Adele Creda.
Robin Hayden.
Aaron Glass.
Alex Hudson.
Joshua Hendricks.
Lauren Joyce.
Jordan Horowitz. Wuyun Gao. Donghong Jiang. Eric Harper. Carl Kramer. Jimmy Hack. And Rosalinda Guillen. The turning of the tassel is the traditional gesture by which each student signifies passage from degree candidate to graduate. Will each of you now mark your new status by turning the tassel of your cap from the right side to the left side? Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Graduates, alumni, oh yeah. Today marks a personal milestone in your lives. Since you arrived on campus, each of you has worked hard to reach your goals of being here today, wearing your cap and gown, walking across this stage, and receiving your degree from the Tippie College of Business. As you made progress towards your degree, each year you faced many challenges, made discoveries about yourselves and others, and grew into leaders who will make a difference in our communities. For those of you in the audience, we feel your pride in these individuals, but you also should be proud of all that you have done to help them accomplish their goals. Your guidance, your understanding, your compassion, your faith in their abilities, and your love and support have been critical to their success. For what you have done to help these graduates, why don't you turn up and face your supporters and clap for them? Let me just share a few thoughts before we finish. As you graduate today, I'm sure your mind is flooded with images and memories and emotions. And as you leave the Tippie College, we hope you take with you powerful and positive attributes about your degree and your time here. First, we hope you appreciate pride. You have received a degree from one of America's leading universities. Your degree has not been without special consideration, and as you enter the workplace, you will discover that what you have learned here at Iowa rivals what others will have earned elsewhere. The second thing I hope you take away is a strong work ethic. There is no substitute for hard work. Tippie students are known for their readiness to work hard, their willingness to meet challenges, and their ability to overcome adversity. As Tippie students, you have demonstrated this work ethic daily. As graduates, you take this ethic with you as you enter the next stage of your life, and it will serve you very well. The third thing that I hope you take away is compassion. Today, many of you have reached the end of your academic journey. Eventually, you will all reach the end of your professional journey as well. And in echoing the comments of Ted Waite earlier, I would just say that what really matters at the end of all this are the relationships you develop and nurture, the people that you touch, and the lives that you impact. Remember those who have helped you, influenced you, and played a role in your success. We hope that in the years to come, you will remember fondly your time at the Tippie College of Business and support this institution as generously as those alumni who came before you. We are very proud of the class of 2017. In addition to being talented academically, you have demonstrated leadership, community spirit, and a global sensibility. You are indeed ready to be citizens of the real world. Graduates, as you leave today, I encourage you to remember the words of William Jennings Bryan. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for. It is a thing to be achieved. This concludes today's commencement ceremony, and I ask that everyone please remain seated for the recessional. The platform party will exit first, followed by the graduates. Thank you, and good luck to you all.